How's it going, everyone? I'm Faerghast, and welcome to my first impressions video on the new Cindered Shadows trailer that just dropped. If you guys are new to the channel and you just searched up Fire Emblem Three Houses trailer analysis or whatever, I'll introduce myself. Like I said, I'm Faerghast. I do all types of Fire Emblem content, from Let's Plays to scripted content to analysis on characters and level design. So pretty much everything, and we also like to have fun here with like a bunch of memes and like joke videos, like mods and stuff, like big knots, that kind of thing. So I like to do videos like this where I just kind of leave my first impressions and I talk about what is going on in these trailers. So what I'm going to do here is quite simply just look at the trailer, give my first impressions on it. And I actually, there was a data mine about these characters a long time ago that have all their stats, their learned spells, that kind of thing. So we're just going to go through those as well. And we're going to talk about, are these characters going to be good? And are they worth looking forward to as far as like kind of as far as units go? Because some of them actually have really, really cool stats and good growths and good spells to learn. So we're going to look at these four characters. We're going to change the window here. We're going to go hello, and then we're just going to take a watch. Put my headphones on. That's probably a good idea.
Back then, there were tons.
So we
of
have Anna chatting about
something about tons of passages and houses beneath the town.
All these houses beneath the town.
Super shady people. They had a real intimidating name too. What was it again? I think it was called Abyss.
Really dope music too. I really like the music. So I'm curious about this statue. I don't know what kind of, if this middle thing is anything important, like as if it's like some kind of like sigil or some kind of like emblem for another house or whatever, or maybe their own kind of god that they believe in because Garreg Mach rejected them or something. But I thought it was pretty cool.
Abyss is home to those who shun the light.
Now this is really cool as well. As you can see, we have Claude and Edelgard and Hilda together. And if you guys are savvy with who you can recruit when, you'll know that like Hilda won't go Black Eagles. She'll only go Blue Lions. And Crimson Flower, I believe. Not Crimson Flower, that is Edelgard. Silver Snow, that's what it's called. This is even before the chapter where you fight Solon and Byleth becomes the progenitor god. So this is happening at the beginning. You do get the impression that this is going to be a route that has everyone be friends, which is like a very like, let's unite this whole thing revelation style. But we have the four characters here: Constance, Balthus, Yuri, and Happy.
Light of day. It is the secret shadow of Garreg Mach.
They think they need a place like this for Garreg Mach to thrive.
Fine. We're the Ashen Wolves.
The Ashen Wolves, says Balthus. So pretty cool. Byleth's nickname is the Ashen Demon. So I'm wondering if there's like, maybe they know Byleth somehow because it's like, oh wow, Ashen Wolf, Ashen Demon, we're friends now or something. Or maybe that's how they end up finding it or something. I don't know. But yeah, these designs are pretty nifty.
We're the
Then we have Balthus with the, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, Varamushti. I'm not going to try. I was the guy who thought Gloucester was pronounced Glucester, so I'm just going to be quiet here. But yeah, we do see Dimitri, and he's on our team, which means it seems like that this route is at least for this part of the game, is going to have all house leaders fight together, it seems. Maybe against some unknown force, against something together when all their badness gets pushed aside. And Balthus is wielding this relic weapon, which is the relic gauntlets, which is pretty baller.
fourth house in Abyss. Surface world turned its back on us.
Yeah, because then we have Edelgard as a fortress knight, and Happy using Banshee, which is the spell that stops you from moving.
Same in return.
Now, interestingly, Balthus is the only one with a relic weapon. Everyone else doesn't really seem to have one. Alas, Constance says, for some foul reason, surface dwellers have been after us as of late. And the subtext there is the Ashen Wolves are a house in name alone. They are eager students with
Ashen Wolves are a house in name alone.
Balthus, the elderly, the infirm, orphans, lost souls, merchants who were chewed up and spit out by nobility, the works. So everyone who is rejected in Garreg Mach goes down here.
They are eager students.
And they're a secret society. Now, Yuri is I'm presuming the lord of this group. We'll look into their stats, and it's very obvious that Yuri is like the noble leader of the house. If it wasn't obvious already, he's narrating this.
With no teacher to guide them, if you could find it in your heart to take them under your wing, I would be most grateful.
Prepare to face the almighty king of grappling.
Yeah, he says Almighty King of Grappling, and he just Numa Gale someone. So he Hadoukens someone with air power. Numa is like, I think, some term for like wind pushing or distance or something. I don't know.
No matter
And Happy, despite the name, seems like a total like nihilist.
what we do, we're all just gonna die in the end anyway.
Yeah, but you'll notice here that this is a new outfit. So this isn't her generic. This isn't her character model. This is a class model for the new class this is. I'm pretty sure there is a name for these, but the data mine specified them, but Serena's didn't specify.
Tremble in fear at
And you have your Dark Flyer. I think someone said this was called the Harrier class,
my magical might.
but maybe I might be mishearing that.
We're a unique bunch from all
Yeah, Yuri even has like that badge thing, so he's obviously like
walks
the
of
lord
life.
here.
Once you get to know us, I'm sure you'll love it here.
And then we see here we have Yuri casting some kind
All
of
walks
like
of life.
warp switch spell.
Once you get to know us, I'm sure you'll love it here.
And what I'm assuming this could be is actually like a class mastery skill for Yuri's class, because he doesn't learn any magic or any assist magic that would be like this. As you can see here as well, like we have Hilda, Lorenz, and then we have Edelgard fighting a Titan. Or not Titan, what am I talking about? A Black Beast. I forget what this is called. A Golem, I think?
No one will die.
Yeah, so Yuri goes over here, and then Byleth is over there.
We'll get everyone out safely.
I actually want to read that dialogue on the bottom.
Tremble in fear at my
Once you get
We're a unique bunch of walks of life. Once you get to know us, I'm sure
to
you'll
know
love
us,
it.
I'm sure you'll love it here.
Don't worry. No one will die.
We'll get everyone out safely. So the implication being,
everyone out safely.
we're all gonna be friends. Yeah, that's very much a jester type look. An onslaught isn't anything new we haven't seen before. So yeah, we have the lads. We have Happy, who is looking fine. We have Yuri, who is looking very flashy, who is hearkening me back to Leon. Balthus, who is just shredded AF. And then we have Constance. And like I said, Balthus seems to be the only one with a relic weapon, which is cool. As far as designs goes, these are really, really cool. And this kind of really makes me wish that every character had unique designs, not just these four / Byleth / the Lords. Yeah, and that's and it's releasing on February 13th. So when it's supposed to be Valentine's Day, I am going to be playing Happy Forever Alone. I think that's it. Yeah. So really cool stuff as far as characters that I'm looking forward to play as. I'm looking forward to see actually like Yuri, and just to see like what his class is really all about, because what really made me curious is that like kind of distant swap spell. Now we can actually look at the base stats of these characters. Now this is from a data mine, again, from a while back, and it's on Serenade, so probably real. And we look at the DLC exclusive classes. The order goes Yuri, Balthus, Constance, and Happy. So we look at the HP growth. For Yuri, he has 24 base HP, 10 strength, 7 magic, 8 dexterity, 9 speed, 7 luck, 5 defense, 6 res, and 8 charm. Now, assuming that this is right off the bat, this is the 4th route we're taking. These are the bases that he's going to have. As we can see, like 8 charm, which is pretty high. Generally, like 8 is pretty high on the list, whereas everyone else has like kind of middling charm bases, which makes sense. As far as his bases go, he seems really solid across the board. Balthus is the better Raphael, I want to say. He's actually, I personally think, based on his bases growths and abilities, he's just straight up better than Raphael, who is arguably one of the worst characters in the game, like maybe behind Caspar. 28 HP, 11 strength, 5 magic, 4 dexterity, 7 speed, 3 luck, 7 defense, 4 res and charm. I like to easily compare this to Raph. We have less HP, same strength, more magic, more speed, less dexterity, and then 7 defense and 4 res and 4 versus his 7, 1, and 4. Then we have Constance, who is 23, 5 strength, 11 magic, 6 dexterity, 6 speed, 4 luck, 3 defense, 4 res, and 6 charm. So yeah, high base magic, one of the best base magics in the game. In fact, she ties Lysithea, and you're going to notice that between Constance and Lysithea, they're very, very similar as far as nuking capabilities go. And last is Happy, who also has 11 base magic, and solid offensive stats, and then kind of squishy, but not terrible defensive stats at all. And those are their bases. Now, the growths are something that I like to pay more attention to, mainly because we get to kind of see their potential as units more here. Yuri has 30 HP, which is really, really low. Yeah, Yuri has not the best HP growth. We'll get into the class modifiers for what I presume to be his Jester Trickster class. 30 HP, 35 strength, 35 magic, 50 dex, 60 speed, 45 luck, 30, 30, and 55. So high charm. He looks like Roy, except in this game. Yeah, it's like 30 HP is not that good. And 35 and 35 is pretty middling. But, high dex, speed, and charm. Yeah, we'll get to crests in a bit, actually. We'll go to character growth rates. Continuing with character growth rates. Continuing with growth rates. Balthus is, I think, just straight up better than Raph. 50 HP, 50 strength, 30 magic, 25 dex, 30 speed, 20 luck, 45 defense, 30 res, 30 charm. Now, easy to compare this with Raphael. Yeah, so if we compare Raphael, we have 65, 50, 15 for strength, for HP, strength, and magic. So let's see here. We'll just highlight this for ease. And then we have 50 compared to 65, 50, same strength, 30 magic, which is higher by twice as much. But we'll see in Balthus's magic, it's not really that desirable. Dex is higher for Raph. But speed is 30, and at 30 speed is not the best. It's still quite shaky, but it's definitely useful and way better than 15%. 15% speed is just straight up unusable, and it really contributes to Raph it helps contribute Raph being kind of useless. And then we have 20 luck, 45 and 30. So Balthus has more magic and res compared to Raphael's HP and dexterity. And charm is a little bit higher for Balthus. So growths, I think this goes in favor of Balthus. Then we have Constance, who has 20 HP, 20 strength, 60 magic, 30 dex, 35 speed, 15 luck, 15 defense, 30 res, and 25 charm. I think she's most comparable to Lysithea, simply because Lysithea also has 60 magic, but where Constance's dexterity might be shaky, Lysithea gets 60% for dexterity and speed, whereas Constance is working with 30 and 35 respectively. As far as DLC crests go, each character has a DLC crest that hasn't been used yet. So if we go to DLC 1, so Yuri has Aubin. I think I'm pronouncing that right. A crest long lost to history, occasionally prevents enemy counterattack when using a weapon. And Balthus has Chevalier, which is a crest long lost to history. Sometimes restores HP equal to 30% damage dealt when using combat arts. So he kind of gets Soul, which is pretty cool. Then we have DLC 3, which is Noah. Occasionally does not consume a use during magic attacks, which is helpful for Constance because she has a bunch of magic. And then we have the last one, which is Timotheus, which is occasionally does not consume a use for recovery magic, which is good, I guess. Budding talents for Yuri. Yuri gets Deadeye, which is actually really good. So he probably has a weakness in that. We can actually check unreleased DLC. So as far as budding talents go, Yuri has strong in swords, weak in lances and axes, budding talent in archery, which would make sense for Deadeye, of course. And he has proficiencies in reason, faith, and authority, and weaknesses in cavalry and flying. Then we have Balthus, who is strong in swords, strong in axes, and brawling, with a proficiency, with a budding talent in reason. That being, if we look down here, black magic crit plus 10, which is okay. I mean, Balthus doesn't really have that great magic. He has Ragnarok, which is solid. Brawling for Mystic Blow. So Constance, if we get her into brawling, she gets Mystic Blow, which honestly is really, really good. It's a magic-based brawl combat art. But if we look at her her skill levels, good in sword. She's actually neutral in brawling, which is cool. And then we have reason and authority and flying. So yeah. And then we have Happy, who has proficiencies in reason, cavalry, and flying, with a budding talent in axe, and failure and struggles with brawl, authority, and armor. So, and her budding talent is, what is it? Exhaustive Strike. I love Exhaustive Strike, so good for you, girl. Exhaustive Strike like Bolt Axe, so you're done. What else we got here? So we've went over the growth rates, bases, budding talents, and skill levels. Base stats, yes. Growth rates, DLC. Yeah, so the DLC class growth rates, we'll see here that Yuri gets an extra 20 HP, 15 dex, 20 speed, and 10 luck, and 5 res, which is good. That's going to boost his HP to 20 if you want to stick with this. The DLC exclusive class for Balthus is whatever. 40 HP, 10 strength, 5 magic, and 10 dexterity with 5 res and charm. Very solid. For Constance, we get 20 HP, 10 speed, 10 res and charm. That's actually baller. Generally, I want to say that, yeah, generally flyers are going to get speed boosts because for some reason, so that fits with that. And they also get added a way better charm and res. So yeah, that's great. And then Happy gets -5, so you know she's a cavalry. So you know that's I shouldn't say the characters themselves, but that's kind of how I'm referring it. She gets -5, which is par for the course. 10 res, 10 charm, 5 defense. And yeah. Then we get to learn spells. So we get to learn spells and abilities. Let's go over abilities first. So with authority, Yuri's getting Haze Slice, Finesse Blade. Balthus is getting Bane of Monsters, Diamond Axe, Armored Strike, and Draining Blow. So lots of brawly stuff. Constance is getting Soul Blade and Hex Blade, which is dope. And Happy doesn't get any, but she's fine because she's getting Dark Magic, which is baller. Now, one of the reasons why I'm propagating that Balthus is just better than Raphael, for abilities, for dependent abilities, Yuri gets Model Leader, which is like the classic, you are the lord of the group. Claude gets Model Leader. Dimitri gets Model Leader, and Edelgard gets Model Leader, and so does the protagonist. So Yuri is like the leader of the group, obviously. Now, Balthus gets Rally Strength and Battalion Desperation. So, I mean, Battalion Desperation is kind of not really worth it for him, but Rally Strength is also what Raphael gets. So GG's, Raph, you suck. Rally Magic and Resistance for Constance, which is very, very solid, and Dexterity and Battalion Wrath for Happy, which is very, very good too. Yes, and then we get to learn spells, which is really, really interesting for me. So going down, we get Yuri with Wind, Cutting Gale, Sagittae, and Excalibur, which is solid. I mean, these are lightweight spells, so that's good, but it doesn't really get anything at really good range. So it's kind of like a middling kind of list. I don't know. Yuri kind of seems like a not really good character to me, unless he gets, I don't know, like, I don't even know. Like, it doesn't seem that good to me. Balthus gets Fire, Bolganone, and Ragnarok. So that actually seems like the exact same spell list as Sylvain, I want to say. Is that the same? Is that literally the same spell list as Sylvain? No. Sylvain actually gets Bolganone as well. So that's kind of a spell list that says probably shouldn't use that. Now, the really interesting spell lists are, of course, Constance and Happy. Constance gets Fire, Sagittae, Thimblevetter, which you see in the video, Bolting, and Agnia's Arrow. So Bolting at A, Agnia's Arrow at A+, very solid. And Happy gets Dark Magic, and she gets Miasma, Swarm, Banshee, Death, and Hades. So Death and Hades are just like nuke attacks. Banshee is sorry about your move. Swarm is, I kind of forget what Swarm does. I think it reduces defense, I want to say. And then we have, Hades. So just kind of a nuke. And given that she has 45 of a growth, that's good. Yeah. So being a nuke with 60 is great for Agnia's Arrow. Just got to be sure that the uses don't go out. I think what was it? Noah? Noah was the crest, right? So if we go back to crests, Noah is occasionally does not consume a use during magic attack, which is pretty helpful because Agnia's Arrow is like 2 uses. Fimbulvetter, I think is, let's actually just see, black and dark magic. Fimbulvetter is a it is a 3 use tome. So assuming that this class gets double black magic uses, then that's going to go to 6. So hopefully that not consuming magic really comes in handy there, because yikes. And Agnia's Arrow is the strongest spell in the game, except for Hades. So yeah. Moving on, we have, and Faith Magic. We go here. So Faith Magic is not really the best for these characters. Yuri gets Aura and Silence, which is good, I guess. I don't know. I don't really find Silence is super useful. I feel like if you're using mages already, then someone's probably going to have Silence. Like if you use Marianne, then she has Silence. Yeah, I mean, it's decent, but I'm sure you can find other characters with it. Aura's solid, but it's not really, I don't really find it the most useful spell ever, but it's a good combat spell for sure. Balthus has nothing really that impressive. He has Restore, which is whatever. Constance has Ward, Rescue, and Abraxas. So combining 60% of a growth for magic at base, plus your growth rate from that class, which is going to boost it to, let's see, growth rates for class. That's an extra. Oh, it doesn't really provide any magic boost. So she's rocking with a solid 60% off the bat. So that's a really good rescue. That's a really good, I find that would be a really good rescue caster, just because, the only other rescue options you have is Flane, who is like later availability, presumably, and less of a growth because Flane has 55% growth in magic. And yeah, so she gets probably earlier availability. And yeah, Abraxas, which is really solid too. And then Happy has Physic, which is very good. Like, this is an insanely good lineup. This output is crazy good. You get Physic and Warp. No character has both of those things. Lysithea is so good because she has Warp, but Physic is like arguably the best white magic spell you have, and she has both. And not only that, Happy actually has a crest that's like helpful for that because she has Timotheos, which is occasionally conserves a white magic use. So that's really, really solid as well. Warp at A with a 45% growth. And I think her class is going to boost that by 5. We go to growth rates for class. Then we have DLC 4. Yeah, so she gets 50% magic working with Warp. Very, very solid. So she has both of those things, which is super epic. And as far as the rest goes, I think we covered everything. Let me know if I missed anything, but I'm pretty sure that's it. For combat arts, I don't think they've revealed anything for the DLC classes. I feel like they should. So folks, that pretty much does it for this trailer. We went over like I went over like my first impressions. So as far as first impressions goes, really, really, really excited for this. I'm really curious to see where this takes place in the story and how it affects the rest of it, because clearly there's some sort of like united front here with the Abyss. Really curious to see what kind of spell that Yuri did at the end there. With that warp swap, getting super meta now. Not only do we have repositionals, but we have spells that do repositionals too. Not really sure how functionally that's helpful though, to get someone in or out of the fray. I guess that works. Actually, that would be really baller. He pretty much has a warp that warps himself, which is really good. So probably another way to cheese the game like crazy, honestly. If you guys liked this analysis, I know I kind of rambled on for like half an hour just kind of talking about it. Please leave a like and comment down below. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more Three Houses analysis like this, please go ahead and subscribe as well. I always do Fire Emblem content, different kind of things. You'll never know what to expect. And with that being said, folks, hope you enjoy your week and your weekend coming up, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.